I am super excited about today's testimonial. First and foremost, I like to introduce a guy that is freaking phenomenal. We love it. It's like, where is Carmen Sandiego for us? Stanley Mitchell. Stanley is all over the place. We love seeing where he ends up crushing his workouts. He travels all over. So I'm going to let Stanley here talk. Stanley, can you give us kind of a background? So you work for a farmer that owns multiple companies. You were just telling me about it.
Yeah, they own like 4 or 5 different companies. I work for the trucking side of it. And in the fall, I get to come over and help them on the farm, hauling, still driving the truck, but helping haul the grain. They primarily grow just corn. They've done, first year they ran beans, but it's where we're at. It's such a hassle to get those sold. They just do corn.
Corn harvest is busy. Like, you're never not moving. Corn is like, you're loaded, dumped, back. Like, it's never not moving.
Yeah, especially for us, we usually takes us about 6 weeks to do everything. 6 weeks to 8 weeks, a couple months, So once we start, we're hustling.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I would love to start off asking you, first and foremost, how did you hear about FarmFit Training? I always love to ask that one. And then what made you decide to join? So I'm going to give you a twofer question there.
Well, I was following a couple other accounts, Erin Holbert, which she lives a couple hours north of where I live, and Laura Farms. And you came up as a suggestion, and I started seeing it more and more. I didn't follow your account like immediately there on Instagram, but then the John Deere program came up, and I'm kind of a fan of their tractors, so I started following then and joined the John Deere program, and what started it all. And after that, I went into the one-on-one.
Yeah, and you crush it. And you're like so the really cool thing about you is like you're all over. With the Warbell program, you got that one piece of equipment to be able to do all the workouts. But I would like to highlight this, like you're traveling all over the place. Like I love it when you show like a little behind the scenes of like how you prep your food or how you get in your macros or how you organize yourself up. Like a lot of times people find that as an excuse. They're like, gosh, I joined a program and it's so hard when it comes to nutrition. And you're so good at it. Like you're very disciplined. Like can you give us a little bit more information? Like how do you organize yourself with that and the workouts? Like how does that all fit in with your traveling and where you're at?
It time wise, far as food prepping, I've got to get all my food in this small package and built and whatnot, so I can fit them in my refrigerator, because it's just a little refrigerator. So I don't have a lot of room for like cold items. As far as fitting in, time wise, it's that short, quick workout. Because with mine, I have these hours of service I have to go by. I got 10 hours off, and then the rest of it I've got to be performing my job. So I need that short little workout, which is really effective, and and you could tell how effective it is over the course of time of doing it and whatnot.
Fits in your schedule. Like you said, you're big.
Fits into that schedule. I've got like a 14-hour day with 11 hours of driving, and then, like I said, 10 hours off. Doesn't leave me a lot of time for workouts and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you're really good too about planning ahead. So like I would love for you. So you joined the program because of John Deere was your official first introduction into the FarmFit training. And then you went into one-on-one coaching. And I remember when you were going through one-on-one coaching, was I your coach, if I remember right?
No, I think Jamie was.
Jamie?
Jamie
So
was.
like I remember Jamie was really good about helping you like, hey, protein, like this is like, let's make sure we get like protein in first. Let's talk about carbohydrates. Like, can you give everybody that doesn't know us like a little bit more information? Like one-on-one coaching, like what was that eye-opening when it came to your like nutrition? Like, I mean, the workouts were so quick and effective, but really honing in that nutrition. Can you give them any tidbits of like what helped you?
Pretty much just realizing that I wasn't eating right is is the biggest
Okay.
thing, and not focusing on what I eat, and because a lot of a lot a lot of the truckers' diet is fast food and not carrying
Yeah.
enough food on the truck. Now I carry a ton of food on the truck, and I have those options. So by learning how to identify what I'm eating, really, because I never really looked at what I was eating beforehand. I never read labels. Just, oh, that looks good to eat. I'm gonna throw it on the truck and eat it. So now I have more of a conscious. Oh, that's going to have a lot of carbs in it. Just by looking at it now, I know that's going to have a lot of carbs in it, or that's going to be more protein, or that's going to have the good fats. That's not going to have the bad. That's going to have the bad fats in it. So yeah, going through that one-on-one and seeing that develop, and seeing how others also developed their plans and executed their plans, that really helped me think about what I'm eating, what I'm what I wasn't eating, and all of that that good stuff right there.
Feeling your body. It's like,
Yeah.
sometimes once we start to pay attention to it, it's like, oh, well, this was super high in unhealthy carbs or, unhealthy fats. And it's like you said, you're more conscious of it. You're now paying attention to what you're putting in your body versus just eating because you're hungry in the moment. And I think that's the biggest thing too, is like it shows like, hey, this is really sustainable because like you learn that education behind how to properly fuel yourself, and you still are able to get those quick effective workouts wherever you're at in the United States. I don't know, do you go to Canada? I think you kind of stay in the
No.
United States.
Now the furthest north we go is like the upper part of Michigan, or up in the
Okay.
Wisconsin. So I've been up to the UP of Michigan, and then farthest west we go is like Hayes City, Kansas, and then I don't get out
Okay.
to like the eastern part of Pennsylvania every now and then. Is about where we go.
Got it. Yeah. And you've joined us with a couple of events. You actually came to our Farmer Olympics. I remember that because you like
Omaha.
worked it out in your schedule. You're like, yeah, and Omaha, you helped us. That was crazy. That was nuts. I mean, we had people like 80-year-olds participating. I mean, that was such a fun event. I absolutely loved having you help us and be there. It was just, yeah, first ever Farmer Olympics. There we go in the
Oh yeah.
books. Well, I would love for you to kind of wrap this up as first and foremost, we appreciate and love having you as a client. But what have you noticed in your day to day life since joining FarmFit Training that has changed for you personally? Like, and how you already talked about, nutrition, how you're paying more attention to that. But is there anything else that you would like to share on the outside of not just the nutrition side of things, but maybe personally, like that you experienced since joining FarmFit Training as well?
I'm not as tired at the end of the day. I don't get wore out doing my job. I pull 95-pound tarps off of loads, and I before I started Farm Fit, and by the time I'm pulling the second tarp off, I was winded. I was almost done, and now it's like nothing, nothing for me now. So I really found my endurance is much better. Also, just I've learned how to breathe while I'm doing the work, and you gotta have oxygen to keep going. So yeah, I don't huff and puff like I used to, and yeah, because it's hard. It's a workout doing this
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's made your everyday living easier.
Oh yeah.
Like now that your body, you're working out, like all your everyday tasks that you're doing day in and day out, it's like you can execute at higher levels and be more efficient. And it's not necessarily like holding you back where you're all of a sudden, like you said, huffing and puffing, trying to catch your air because you can't get it done. And then it's like, wait, I just did that in like 2 seconds. On to the next. So it's really cool. And like I said, we absolutely love it. It's always like that where is Carmen San Diego vibe where we're like, where's Stanley at? What state is he in this month or day? Which is super cool as well. Well, Stanley, I want to say thank you so much for getting on here and kind of sharing a little glimpse about your journey with us. I would love for people. So he was just talking before we started recording about a new adventure that you're doing. It's on Twitch. So if you want to share more about that, and then also where people could find you on social media.
Over on Instagram, I'm on Instagram all the time. Stan Mitch 26. Over on Twitch, it's Hoosier Corpse. Hoosier / corpse. That's spelled with ES, not the normal way. And yeah, Stanley Mitchell on Facebook. And I think that's all I've got. I've got Twitter, but I don't mess with it at all. Hardly ever. So
I highly recommend everybody checking you out because you do post about FarmFit Training and on your pages, like you've tagged us in events and some posts. It's really cool to see how, like in the morning when you're working out, you have all your barbells out, your weight equipment, and you're just on the side of your truck, just getting it done. Like
on
no
the side of the
excuses.
sometimes on the trailer.
Yeah. I bet you people drive by you and are like, what is happening? And you're there showing up for yourself. So it's super cool. Well, I want to say thank you again for joining us. I hope you travel safe. Where are you today?
Right now I'm in Jasper, Tennessee on the way back home. Up to Shoals, Indiana.
I've never been to Tennessee, actually. That is one state I have not been to.
Yeah.
Well, check out Ian, super cool Twitch. I gotta explore that platform. I don't know anything about it, but check him out. I want to say thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you travel safe. And we can't wait to see your next post.
Yep. All right, have a good one.